It's a Happy New Year. That's right, we got Happy New Year. I would like to finish this reading of the Vril. It would be nice to finish the reading. Oh, I think I'm stuck on a window capture. I got to get the window capture off of here, you all. Yeah, the Vril. We've read a lot of this already. We're at the ending of this book where this human who somehow found himself inside the earth, in the middle of the earth, among a race of beings who are a subterranean race. It could very well be the same type that maybe Admiral Byrd encountered when he went inside the earth. But this human, they've already told him there's no going back to the surface for you. There's not. And the the winged being inside the earth, the female winged being, has fallen in love with the human, and the human doesn't like it. And yeah, he's been told if he declines the female's offering, he'll probably be reduced to ashes, really, and or he can be staying in a cage for the rest of his human life. But he will not be allowed to go back to the surface. He's not too happy. I'd like to finish the reading of this, and if you're just tuning in, I'm going to make sure I'm on here. We're on page 70 of 95. 95, and I think has a lot of, some of the pages are footnotes where this began. And they got this information, a lot of this from 1951. Some more data that came in, but I think it was originally written in the 1800s, this race. It's inside the earth with wings on on their arms. I'm going to come over here. All I need to know is if I'm being heard, which is, yeah. And welcome and Happy New Year. We're going to finish it. Just hold on one second. Yeah, this is not going to be for everyone, but they are a subterranean race. And this book is just weird. Okay, I can be heard. That's all I need to know. We got it. We got it, Frank Cooper, honey. I'm Butterfly, Craig. Craig, honey, we haven't mentioned anything. Has been no indication whatsoever to the Black-Eyed Club in here. There has been no indication of something being put through someone's eye. The power of the Vril is it's like an essence, like anybody can obtain it. It's really spiritual power. Yeah, but it's very powerful. Hello, Applebrooks, honey. Applebrooks, honey, I'm going to try to finish this. I really am. We're going to be on chapter 25. And this human, who's called a Tish, the equivalent of a pet on Earth, he's called a Tish in the subterranean area inside the Earth by the species who live inside the Earth. So he's just witnessed a funeral of a passing of a loved one. And yeah, they put them in urns inside walls and something like that. And this, said I, with my mind full of what I had witnessed, this, I presume, is your usual form of burial? Our invariable form, answered Athlin. What is it amongst your people? We enter the body whole within the earth. What? To degrade the form you have loved and honored, the wife on whose breast you have slept, to the loathsomeness of corruption? But if the soul lives again, can it matter whether the body wastes within the earth or is reduced by that awful mechanism, worked, no doubt, by the agency of Vril into a pinch of dust? So the agency of Vril is everything to this species. You answer well, said my host, and there is no arguing on a matter of feeling. But to me your custom is horrible and repulsive, and would rather serve to invest death with gloomy and hideous associations. It is something, too, in my mind, to be able to preserve the token of what has been our kinsman or friend within the abode in which we live. We thus feel more sensibly that he still lives, though not visibly so to us. But our sentiments in this, as in all things, are created by custom. Custom is not to be changed by a wise Arn any more than it is to be changed by a wise community, without the greatest deliberation, followed by the utmost earnest conviction. It is only thus that change ceases to be changeability, and once made is made for the good. When we regained the house, Alf Blinn summoned some of the children in his service and sent them round to several of his friends, requesting their attendance that day during the easy hours in a festival to honor of his kinsman's recall to the all good. I kind of know what's coming after this, even though they're gathering. I kind of know where this is leading, because I think that's where I read the one part a long time ago. This was the largest and gayest assembly I ever witnessed during my stay among the Arna, and was prolonged far into the silent hours. The banquet was spread in a vast chamber reserved especially for grand occasions. This differed from our entertainments, and was not without a certain resemblance to those we read of in the luxurious age of the Roman Empire. There was not one great table set out, but numerous small tables, each appropriated to 8 guests. It is considered that beyond that number conversation languishes and friendships cool. The Arn never laugh aloud. I need a drink of water. Let me have my drink of water. Yeah. Got that water. Thank you for tuning in, and Happy New Year. I want to finish this. I really do want to finish it. I'm going to try my best to finish it. I do. The Arna never laughed loud, as I have before observed, but the cheerful ring of their voices at the various tables betokened gaiety and of intercourse. As they have no stimulant drinks and are temperate in food, though so choice and dainty, the banquet itself did not last long. The tables sank through the floor, and then came musical entertainments for those who liked them. Many, however, wandered away. Some of the younger ascended in their wings, for the hall was ruthless, forming aerial dances. Others strode through the various apartments for various games, the favorite of which is a complicated kind of chess played by 8 persons. I mixed with the crowd, but was prevented joining in the conversation by the constant companionship of one of the other host's sons, appointed to me to keep me from obtrusive questionings. The guests, however, noticed me but slightly. They had grown accustomed to my appearance, seeing me so often in the streets, and I had ceased to excite much curiosity. To my great delight, he's really bad. Z, this is a female, the grand female down there, who she's in love with him, and he don't like it. To my great delight, Z avoided me, and evidently sought to excite my jealousy by marked attentions to a very handsome young Arn, who, though, as in the modest custom of the males, when addressed by females, he answered with downcast eyes and blushing cheeks, and was demure and shy, as young ladies new to the world are in most civilized countries, except England and America, was evidently much charmed by the tall guy, and ready to falter a bashful yes if she actually proposed to him, fervently hoping that she would, and more averse to the idea of reduction to a cinder after I had seen the rapidity with which a human body can be hurried into a pinch of dust. I amused myself by watching the manners of the other young people. I had the satisfaction of observing that Z was no singular assertor of a female's most valued rights. Wherever I turned my eyes or lent my ears, it seemed to me that the females, which are called the guys, which is spelled G-Y, but pronounced guy, that's the name for the females in this civilization, was the wooing party, and the Arn, which is the males, and it's spelled A-N and it's pronounced Arn. The Arn, the males are coy and reluctant. The pretty innocent airs which an Arn gave himself on being thus courted, the dexterity with which he evaded direct answers to professions of attachment, or turned into jests the flattering compliments addressed to him, would have done honor to the most accomplished coquette. Both male chaperones were subject greatly to these seductive influences, and both acquitted themselves with wonderful honor to their tact and self-control. I said to the elder son, who preferred mechanical employments to the management of a great property, and who was of an eminently philosophical temperament, I find it difficult to conceive how at your age, and with all the intoxicating effects on the senses of music and lights and perfumes, you can be so cold to the impassioned young guy who has just left you with tears in her eyes at your cruelty. Oh my God. The young Arn replied with a sigh, "Gentle Tish, the greatest misfortune in life is to marry one guy if you are in love with another." "Oh, you are in love with another?" "Alas, yes." "And she does not return your love?" "I don't know. Sometimes a look, a tone makes me hope so, but she has never plainly told me that she loves me." "Have you not whispered in her own ear that you love her?" "Fie, what are you thinking of? What world do you come from? Could I so betray the dignity of my sex? Could I be so unarnly, so lost to shame as to own love to a guy who has not first owned hers to me?" Oh my gosh, their species is backwards. He don't want to tell somebody that. "Pardon, I was not quite aware that you pushed the modesty of your sex so far. But does an Arn ever say to a guy, 'I love you,' till she says it to him first?" "I can't say that no Arn has ever done so. But if he ever does, he is disgraced in the eyes of the Arna, and secretly despised by the Guy-E. Oh, no guy well brought up, which is no female who is well brought up, would listen to him. She would consider that he audaciously infringed on the right of her sex, while outraging the modesty which dignifies his own. It is very provoking." A high-pitched sound just right now in my ear. It literally came in this ear, my left ear. It's now gone. For she whom I love has certainly courted no one else, and I cannot but think that she likes me. Sometimes I suspect that she does not court me because she fears I would ask some unreasonable settlement as to the surrender of her rights. But if so, she cannot really love me, for where a guy really loves, she forgoes all rights. Is this guy present? Oh, yes. She sits yonder talking to my mother. I looked in the direction to which my eyes were thus guided, and I saw a female dressed in robes of bright red, which among this people is a sign that this guy as yet prefers a single state. She wears gray, a neutral tint, to indicate that she is looking about for a spouse. Dark purple if she wishes to intimate that she has made a choice. Purple and orange when she is betrothed or married. Light blue if she is divorced or a widow and would marry again. Light blue is, of course, seldom seen. Yeah, I got to get a blanket to put on my legs because my legs are getting cold. Well, this is this is really interesting. The custom of this subterranean race called the Vril under the earth, who The females wear their wings, and the females are the dominant species, more or less. And their word is yeah. And if a female gets married, they have to take their wings off and they're never able to fly again, which is kind of sad. It's like, give me back my wings so that I can fly again. That's right. I want my wings back. Give them back to me. It's my poem that I wrote a long time ago. Let's get to here. Among a people where all are of so high a type of beauty, it's difficult to single out one as peculiarly handsome. My young friend's choice seemed to me to possess the average of good looks, but there was an expression in her face that pleased me more than did the faces of the young guyee generally, because it looked less bold, less conscious of female rights. I observed that while she talked to Bra, she glanced from time to time sidelong at my young friend. Courage, said I, that young guy loves you. Aye, but if she shall not say so, how am I the better for her love? Your mother is aware of your attachments? Perhaps so. I never owned it to her. It would be an unarnly thing to confide such a weakness to my mother. I have told my father. He may have told it again to his wife. Will you permit me to quit you for a moment and glide behind your mother and your beloved? I am sure they are talking about you. Do not hesitate. I promise that I will not allow myself to be questioned till I rejoin you. The young Arn pressed his hand on his heart, touched me lightly on the head, and allowed me to quit his side. I stole unobserved behind his mother and his beloved. I overheard their talk. Bra was speaking, said she. There can be no doubt of this. Either my son, who is of marriageable age, will be decoyed into the marriage with one of his many suitors, or he will join those who emigrate to a distance, and we shall see him no more. If you really care for him, my dear Lo, you should propose. I do care for him, Bra, but I doubt if I could really ever win his affections. He's fond of his inventions and his timepieces, and I am not like thee, but so dull that I fear I could not enter into his favorite pursuits, and he would get tired of me, and at the end of 3 years divorce me, and I could never marry another, never. It is not necessary to know about timepieces, to know how to be so necessary to the happiness of an Arn, who cares for timepieces, that he would rather give up the timepiece than divorce his guy. You see, my dear Lo, continued Bra, that precisely because we are the stronger sex, we rule the other, provided we never show our strength. If you were superior to my son in making timepieces and automa, you should, as his wife, always let him suppose you thought him superior in the art himself, to yourself. The Arn tactically allows the preeminence of the guy in all except his own special pursuit. But if she either excels him in that or affects not to admire him for his proficiency in it, he will not love her very long. Perhaps he may even divorce her. But where a guy really loves, she soon learns to love all that the Arn does. The young guy made no answer to this address. She looked down musingly. Then a smile crept over her lips, and she arose, still silent, and went through the crowd till she paused by the young Arn who loved her. I followed her steps, but discreetly stood at a little distance while I watched them. Somewhat to my surprise, till I recollected the coy tactics among the Arna, the lover seemed to receive her advances with an air of indifference. He even moved away, but she pursued his steps, and a little time after, both spread their wings and vanished amidst the luminous space above. That's so sweet, you all. They spread their wings and they flew up above. Isn't that cute? Just then, I was accosted by the chief magistrate, who mingled with the crowd, distinguished by no sign of difference or homage. It so happened that I had not seen this great dignitary since the day I entered his dominions, and recalling Athlin's words as to his terrible doubt whether or not I should be dissected, a shudder crept over me at the sight of his tranquil countenance. "I hear much of you, stranger, from my son Tari," said the Tur, laying his hand politely on my bended head. "He's very fond of your society, and I trust you are not displeased with the customs of our people." I murmured some quite unintelligible answer, which I intended to be an assurance of my gratitude for the kindness I had received from the Tur and my admiration of his countrymen, but the dissecting knife gleamed before my mind's eye and choked my utterance. A softer voice said, "My brother's friend must be dear to me." And looking up, I saw a young guy, who might be 16 years old, standing beside the magistrate and gazing at me with a very benignant countenance. She had not come to her full growth, and was scarcely taller than myself, about 10 inches more. And thanks to that comparatively diminutive stature, I thought her to be the loveliest sky I hitherto seen. I suppose something in my eyes revealed that impression, for her countenance grew even yet more benignant. "Tari tells me," she said, "that you have not yet been accustomed to learn yourself to wings. That grieves me, for I should have liked to fly with you." "Alas," I replied, "I can never hope to enjoy that happiness. I am assured by Z that the safe use of wings is a hereditary gift, and it would take generations before one of my race could poise himself in the air like a bird." Let not that thought vex you too much," replied this amiable princess, "for after all there must come a day when Z and myself must resign our wings forever. Perhaps when that day comes, we might be glad if the Arn we choose was also without wings." Oh my gosh, you all, this is getting really whatever. Yeah. Yes, you all, could you all please, I've just looked at the comment section, could you all please refrain from rainbow turtle information on here, because people really, they do need their privacy, even though we're concerned about rainbow turtle and stuff. We should try to give her some respect and not speak about her too much in the live stream. Yeah, it would be respectful. Thank you. The Tur had left us and was lost amongst the crowd. I began to feel at ease with Tari's charming sister, and rather startled by her boldness of my compliment in replying that no Arn could choose, that no an Arn to say such civil things. Let me, y'all, y'all got my tongue twisted. Let me looking at the comments.